Want me to stay in the front of him also? It's too far for me. Yeah. Too far. For the audio, not the video.
Good evening. Today's been another difficult day in the county of Bergen. Today we learned of the third fatality of our Bergen County family. a 30-year-old male. And as you heard in the press conference today from the governor's office, we had 80 additional presumptive positive tests. I'll talk about that in a little while. As a result of discussions with the Murphy administration, Executive Order 2020-1B will not be implemented on Saturday, March 21st at 8 a.m. The Murphy administration has stated that the only closures that could be enforced were those issued by the governor. While on Monday I stated that the enactment of Executive Order 2020-1B was under the direction of my moral authority, those recommendations were a direct result of the deep moral and ethical responsibility that I feel to do whatever it takes to promote the health, well-being of the residents, visitors, and those who work in Bergen County. Sometimes the legal, moral, and ethical actions are not in competition with each other and align. They then simply become the right thing to do. It is important that all procedures make every attempt to be consistent with the state guidelines. However, we must remember that the severity of the situation in Bergen County, sadly, is much greater than any other in the state. Pending further confirmation, Bergen County has identified between 194 and 205 presumptive positive cases of COVID-19 as of this afternoon. And why we don't have the exact number? Because this is a floating number. Some of the numbers we have here at the county are a little bit different from the state. So this is based on mostly the state's numbers. 52 of our 70 municipalities, or nearly 75%, now have at least one identified case. Today, as I stated earlier, we lost our third Bergen County family member to this rapid disease. Sadly, if results continue at the current rate, that number is expected to rise and we will lose more members of our Bergen County family. I offer my full support to the governor during this difficult time. But whereas some counties have not yet to identify a single presumptive positive case of COVID-19, the actions deemed overreactive in one county may not seem as not only necessary but critical in another. Howard Ruff once said, and I quote, "It wasn't raining when Noah built the ark. Some may have thought Noah was overreacting, but when the flood came, he was prepared." I understand and accept that there has been some confusion. We are all in uncharted territory. However, we are prepared and ready to take all necessary steps to protect our residents. Just this past weekend, I stood with the mayor of Teaneck and warned the residents of Bergen County that further preventive measures would be happening. It was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when. My most recent executive order was the next step. I called for the closure of non-essential businesses, including retail, recreation, and entertainment centers. I would like to take a moment and thank American Dream and the number of malls and stores in Bergen County for voluntarily closing, protecting the thousands of visitors and employees. The governor has since announced similar measures, including the closure of indoor malls and gyms. And I am grateful that the residents across the state will now have these protections. I called for the closures of dental offices for non-emergency procedures, which has since been recommended by the American Dental Association. I called for the closure of personal care businesses, including hair and nail salons, which today the governor closed via executive order. Over the past 2 weeks, the county has taken proactive steps to limit the spread of COVID-19 and protect the health of those who visit, work, and live in Bergen County. These include declaring a countywide state emergency, closing county-operated senior centers, suspending visitation at the Bergen County Health Care Center in Rockley, which was also implemented by our partner agency, Bergen Newbridge Medical Center, for their long-term care unit. Closing all 75 public school districts in the county and transitioning to off-site learning at the recommendation of the county health officer. Banning official county government out-of-state travel. Closing all county offices and buildings to the public. And the other day, the county allowed those who are over 60 to voluntarily leave and go home and stay home. We also followed the civil service guidelines for those folks that have child care needs. Also, anyone that's over 65 that has an underlying condition was permitted to go home and stay home and be paid. Our Division of Consumer Affairs continues to investigate allegations of price gouging and fake testing to protect the residents. We will continue to identify areas in which additional measures are necessary and recommend that statewide action occur. We have received many requests regarding child care. Please be advised that private child care centers licensed to watch infants and/or children up to the age of 13 remain open. Moving forward, I encourage our local businesses and partners to follow the recommendations of social distancing. Not only social distancing, but sanitizing and hygiene. While social distancing is one measure, the other is contact. And we have to make sure that those that visit and those that work take the appropriate action to clean the areas that they're working in. For the time being, this is the new normal. Just this afternoon, I held a conference call with our mayors, local legislative leaders, and members of the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders, some of them are here today, and I'd like to thank the chairwoman of the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders, and I believe Freeholder Sullivan was here also, to update the situation here at the county. Communication is key, and local leaders are taking the necessary actions to reassure their communities that we get through this together. We will continue to work in conjunction with our federal and state partners to ensure our actions at all levels. This virus does not discriminate. It does not care about our differences. Yesterday, it was announced that 2 congressmen had tested positive for COVID-19. One Democrat, one Republican. Young and old alike are impacted. Cases of COVID-19 have now been identified in all 50 of our United States. This virus does not follow along party lines. It does target specific groups. COVID-19 can affect each one of us, and we must work to limit the spread of this virus. We must act creatively and responsibly to take critical action to follow the guidance of health officials and limit contacts. I ask all my municipal partners today on the conference call to work with us to help spread the message, to use their ability as the mayors to go into their business communities and talk to those businesses and make sure that they're practicing all of the guidelines, but maybe encouraging them to close so that more people will not come out. The only way we're going to slow this down, not stop it, is by less contact. Doing that will save the lives of people of Bergen County. At this time, I'll take questions from the press only.
Do you think that you've lost any credibility with the public by issuing this order, postponing it, and then rescinding it altogether?
Based on my conversation today with the mayors, the 70 mayors, and the feedback that I'm getting, I do not think that at all. Anyone else? Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
You mentioned the importance of not just social distancing, but hygiene. Have you thought about using the county's influence to try to secure additional supplies of hand sanitizer so it's available for residents who are going to the grocery stores over the weekend?
Great question. Today, I had our purchasing agent. We have a tremendous buying power. Today, I instructed our purchasing agent to look all over the United States and into Canada for hand sanitizers, for cleaning equipment. But what became very evident with the call that I had with the CEOs of the hospitals today was they need help with PPE, protective personal equipment. And the CEO of Bergen Newbridge is here, sitting here, shaking her head. I also got a call from the CEO of Valley Hospital asking us to help them get PPE and other equipment. As I stand here right now, our purchasing department is calling all over the United States and Canada. I've said that I will fly a plane from FedEx or UPS to anywhere in this country to get the supplies, or I will hire truckers to go across this United States to pick that stuff up. That's how severe this is, and that's how much of a commitment we are making to getting the equipment to those that need it the most. Yes, ma'am.
Do you think, would you go so far as to say that you think that the state maybe has not done enough, you were taking these steps sort of preemptively, do you think that they need to implement more stringent measures?
I think we're taking this along with what they're doing. But again, because I'm getting this information from those folks right here on the ground in Bergen County, and we have the ability to do something, we're going to take that action to do something, hopefully with positive results. Yes.
I mean, the people lost income for those times right now. They can apply for that later on to get the money back?
Yes. The matter of fact, the state legislature today took action. They're going to take action again, I believe, next week. And the federal government is taking action, but there's a lot of effort being put into helping the small business operators and also people themselves from a standpoint of, if we don't have cash and I don't have any dollars, how do I go to the store and buy things and things like that? That's being addressed right now by the federal government and also our state legislators. Yes.
A couple days ago, when we were initially announcing your executive order, we were discussing how hourly workers were going to be impacted.
Mhm.
You mentioned that there was an arm of the county government that might be able to help them out. Any progress on that front?
So what I said was, when the question was asked, what about us hourly workers? And I said, well, right now it's more important for me to have you not have people come to your store or come to your place of business. And the response was, well, then I may die because I can't get food. And my response was, well, no, we will take care of getting you fed. And today we have buses that are taking people to ShopRite, or we're picking up food at different supermarkets around the county and delivering those to people's homes so that they can eat, so that they can sustain themselves. So yes, we are taking steps to help those that have severe impacts, either financially or because of food. We can't give people money, but we can certainly give them support in regards to the basic needs that they have to survive. Anyone else?
Do you think the Murphy administration is putting people in harm's way by not letting you enact the more restrictive measures that you want to?
I believe the Murphy administration is doing what they believe is best for the entire state of New Jersey. And as I said, we're experiencing it at a much more severe rate and a much more quicker rate. There's still 3 counties in the state of New Jersey that haven't had one presumptive case. So I understand the dilemma that the governor has with trying to be consistent and things like that. I will continue to send requests, and I will continue to ask the governor to do those things that we believe are necessary here in Bergen County to address the overwhelming spike in the numbers that we're seeing here today. 80 alone, 80 new cases alone here in Bergen County. We're over 200, well in excess of any other county in the state of New Jersey.
80 new cases today?
Just 80 cases, new cases today, here in Bergen County.
Does that include?
I'm sorry.
Does that include one of the employees at the Bergen County Jail?
The 80 new cases,
Yeah.
I don't know where he lives. So it would only be Bergen County residents. So I'm not privileged to know where that officer lives. So I can't answer whether that's part of that.
Do you have any concerns though about this person who works at the jail being infected, as far as you know?
I have a lot of concerns for his health. Absolutely, he's one of our family members. He works for us, so I absolutely have concern for him and his welfare and his family and everybody else. Also, his colleagues that he works with. I have a lot of concern for that. But this isn't a surprise. I've been saying this now for over 2 weeks. This is going to happen. We know it's going to infect the law enforcement community. We know it's going to infect the first responder community. We know it's going to affect every community. And this is what I keep talking about, being prepared. We really need to be prepared for this. Part of the conversation we had today when we were updating the mayors is we had the law enforcement task force update the mayors today, because we really believe that there are going to be police departments that have to quarantine their entire department. And we have to be ready as a county to have people step in and provide that law enforcement service to the county, to those municipalities.
Mr. Tedesco, how would that situation be handled?
As I said, we now have sheriff's officers, prosecutors' officers that are investigators are now no longer doing investigations. They're now going to be law enforcement officers out on the street. We have mutual aid amongst towns now. So we have a countywide COVID-19 law enforcement plan to address the potential for the loss of law enforcement folks around the county. That is a huge concern for us here in the county. We have 1 million people. Nobody has 1 million people in New Jersey. We do. And so we have to be ready, and we are. God, I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, we're going to be ready. Yes, ma'am.
And you were saying that you're going to continue sending more requests to the governor. What else is next? Any other measures that you're still trying to put forward?
Well, we did send him a revised executive order. So it was the one it's not that it was rescinded. It never got enacted. It was supposed to get enacted on Saturday, but after that, they asked us to send them something else, a revised copy of it. We did. We sent them a revised copy, and I hope that he'll look at some of those things and implement some of those things, either from a statewide basis or let us in Bergen County enact those with his authority and approval.
What are the major changes?
I'm sorry, man?
What are the major changes?
The major requests for us is closing a larger portion of the business community, looking at closing office buildings. There were a number of requests in there in regards to places where people gather. I keep saying it over and over again.
Are those the things that have been pulled out of the revised?
So there is nothing. We sent the revisions down. The governor's staff didn't allow us to enact anything, and so we're hoping that happens.
Is there a timeline on when have they told you?
No. They just today, as I said, he enacted the closure of hand contact type of businesses, and that was something that we had in ours, and I'm very happy for that. So if he keeps enacting those things, then those are going to be good things, not only for the people of Bergen County, but the people of the state of New Jersey. Thank you, everyone. I don't. I'm sorry.
Any underlying health issues that you know of?
I don't know. I believe he may have had some underlying health conditions, but I can't swear to that. I believe so. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Working hard. Working very hard, I see that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.